Farah Nadhirah Chairil Anwar, our undergraduate student from the School of English.
Good afternoon, Dean, faculty, staff, family, friends, and class of 2021. I hope you are all safe and well. My name is Nadhirah, and I'm a creative writing graduate from the School of English. I'm so honored and humbled to be addressing you all today on behalf of the FASS UG graduates. Sitting here today, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm grateful to have made it through university. No, I'm grateful to have chosen to push through university. The wording matters, you see, because A, us English students were nitpicky about these sort of things, and B, all of us chose to be here today. I had a high school teacher who often said, in life, the only thing you have to do is die. Everything else is a choice. Graduation was a series of choices on our part. Every morning we got out of bed, even though our pillows were begging for us to return, was a choice. Every time we walked into class or logged onto Microsoft Teams armed with a coffee was a choice. Every time we put our heads down and got to work was a choice. We all made choices, privileged ones, of course, to get here. So I'm grateful for having those choices to make and the energy, willpower, what have you, to make them. These choices didn't materialize out of thin air, though. It takes a village, right? So let's give credit where credit's due. One group deserving credit is, of course, the lecturers. Thank you for being so generous with your passion, knowledge, and experience throughout our time here. Your generosity even extended outside the realm of academics, as you guided us with patience and kindness in your capacities as personal tutors and mentors. So on behalf of the FASS UG graduates, allow me to extend a most sincere thank you to all the lecturers and faculty members. We really could not have done it without you. Another group I'd like to extend gratitude to is the mental health services at the university. These services have helped many of us here navigate the balancing act of life and studies, because we all know that life doesn't stop when you. So much for showing us that academia and compassion can go hand in hand. Without such important services, many of us would not be graduating today. I think I speak for many of us when I say that the biggest thanks we owe is to our families, both chosen and biological, for supporting us in every possible way. Whether it be financially, emotionally, or physically, our families have been a rock for us throughout our time here at university. To all the families tuning in, thank you for being there for us through it all. Whether we were celebrating our first high mark or mourning a lost opportunity, you were by our side, cheering us on, believing in us. And for that, we don't have enough words of to convey our thanks. So please accept my humblest, sincerest thank you. Lastly, but most definitely not leastly, I'd like to thank my fellow graduates, particularly my friends and creative writing peers. Special shout out to my friends who listened to all 50 versions of this speech. You all are wonderfully inspiring and push me to be my best self always. Thank you for making UNM the extraordinary place it is. It is to you that I dedicate this speech. As a creative writing graduate, I'm a big fan of stories. So I like to see life as one long story and our undergraduate career as one chapter of that story. All of us here were thrown a plot twist in this chapter when the pandemic struck. Suddenly, our lecture halls shrunk to the size of our screens, and we spent our days holding our devices in the air to find our Wi-Fi sweet spot. Not only that, but many of us had to navigate our studies while being ill or caring for those who were. As challenging as it was, I think we should appreciate just how resilient and resourceful we became as a result of this. We did half of our degrees online. We overcame obstacles that previous classes only would have imagined in their science fiction stories. We found alternatives to physical resources we had grown used to. In short, we made the best out of a less than ideal situation. And for that, we should be proud. Looking back, all of our chapters look really different, though they share the same happy ending of graduation. The uniqueness of our individual chapters should be appreciated because every single version of this chapter counts. If, like me, you started in one degree and ended in another, that counts. If you completed this chapter while juggling a job or other responsibilities, that counts. If you found it difficult and just barely scraped by, that counts. All versions of this chapter count. Your chapter counts because it's a part of your unique story. So celebrate and appreciate your unique chapter because you put in a lot of hard work into creating and shaping it. I think, other than the relationships I formed, what I appreciate the most about this chapter are the non-academic lessons that I learned. The one lesson that sticks out to me the most is the power of our voice. You see, in my English degree, we are taught from the very first year to decolonize our mind, decenter the white narrative. My lecturers reiterated over and over again the importance of reading diversely and naming the characters we created names from our own cultures. By encouraging this, our lecturers were sending a clear, simple message. Our stories are important. They make an impact every time they are told. With every story, we wield our voices like a spotlight, highlighting certain people and issues. Our voice with which we tell these stories holds power. So as we look towards the next chapter of our lives, I hope we remember the power that we all possess, every single one of us. With our voices, we have the ability to make people feel seen. We have the ability to build communities around shared stories. We have the ability to influence opinions and enact change. May we never lose sight of our power, and I look forward to seeing what we do with it. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2021.